Good afternoon. It's Friday right now. I'm not going to get this video out until later in the weekend because there's really nothing great going on right now, but I just wanted to say hello, welcome you to my channel called The Empty Neststeaders, and just show you a couple things that we're going to probably start getting into this weekend. But right now I'm headed out to let the chickens out for a little while. It's trying to start raining, and I'd like for them to be able to run around for a little while without getting wet, because they do not know to get out of the rain. They just walk in the rain and get soaked and look like dodo birds or something. But here's one thing that I wanted to show you. We got our stuff delivered a couple days ago for the garden bed. We've got, you can see T-posts here, all the lumber underneath. The T-posts are for the fence that'll go around it. We don't have the fencing yet. We have, these are like top rails for chain link fencing, and these are going to be cut into about 3-foot long pieces, and they'll just go in the ground next to the garden beds to kind of help secure them. And then over here I've got the garden pavers that I'm going to put in the middle of the garden bed. I know there's some screws and other hardware and stuff like that around here somewhere. I was not here when the delivery came, but we'll find those, and that's one thing we're going to get started on this week. You can probably tell how gloomy doomy it is outside right now, and the wind's picking up a little bit. I had the drone up a while ago. I was trying to learn some new things with the drone, and it kept sprinkling on me, and I don't think the drone should probably get wet, so that's another day. Hi, chickens. You guys ready to go out and play? Go play, chickens. Be free. Okay, we have some new surroundings for today's video because I am out in the shop and I'm going to begin cutting up the lumber for the garden beds. So we had it delivered a few days ago and I worked all week, so this has not been a priority, but this weekend I want to make some major progress on this. So Dave's going to be mowing the front yard and then trying to smooth out the area where this whole fenced in garden is going to go with the tractor, hopefully before it rains. So I didn't film anything outside this morning because the wind is blowing so hard and it's really looking threatening for rain, but I think we're good for a little while. So let me show you what we've got here. I just carried in from outside this lumber right here. These are 1x4s and they are treated. We do not use treated wood against the dirt that the plants are growing in. However, we're going to be putting some metal roofing around the inside, lining the inside of the bed with that. So the chemicals that they use for the weather treatment will not leach into our food. I am out of breath and sweaty because I just carried all of these in. Each of these piles represents one of the raised beds we're going to be building. So there are 6 1x4s in each of the first 5. There are 5 in these last 2 right here, and that's because these last 2 right here, they're going to be 8x2 foot. The rest of these are going to be 8x4. So we're going to be cutting half of these boards into 4-foot pieces. So these garden beds are going to have 4x4s on the corners and halfway down the 8-foot side for stability. And then there are going to be 2 of these 1x4s, one at the bottom and one at the top. And that's going to be the frame of the bed. And then I have some 1x6s we'll see later. Those are going to go around the top, laying flat. So like for a ledge around the top. And then we've got a couple other measures in place to kind of stabilize it and stuff, but that'll be later. So right now, let's get to cutting these 1x4s. Okay, so that is one of the narrow beds done, the 8x2 beds. And a couple things you may have noticed, and let me explain. If you noticed, I measured and cut even the 8-foot boards. Now, these are ordered 8-foot boards that were delivered. But if you've bought lumber, you know that an 8-foot board is not exactly 8 feet long. And even though this is not a science, it's more of an art, at least for me, we do need to get these somewhat the same or they're going to look crooked. So I did measure and cut right at the 8-foot mark on the long boards. The other thing you may have noticed is instead of marking all of my 2-foot marks on that board and then cutting it, I marked a 2-foot spot, cut it, and then measured from that board and cut, you know, on the inside of that marker line, so it would be the exact same. And the reason for that is the actual blade of the saw is, you know what, like an eighth, maybe 1/8 of an inch wide. And so anytime you're cutting, you're actually, that sawdust that you see, that is an 1/8 of an inch of the board that you're cutting that you're losing. And so, you know, if you did that 4 times, you're gonna have a 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4, 1/16, I don't know. It's probably 1/16 inch wide, and then you'd lose, I mean, you'd end up losing quite a bit of length by the time you got to your last board. And so they would not all be the same. So therefore, to get it a little more accurate, you measure each one after you cut the one before that. So here's what I cut. I've got the 4, I can't see them. There's 4 2-foot boards and then 4 8-foot boards. So that's going to be 8 feet on the sides and 2 feet on the ends, 2 boards each. And those are going to be held together again by 4x4s. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this cut. I've still got a big pile to go. I'm going to try to get most of this done before lunch and then probably carry some more in and start on the other pieces of wood. I'm working on the 4-foot ends now, so I'm on to the bigger garden beds. And I just want to show you what I was talking about when I said that 8-foot boards are not 8 foot long. So I've taken an 8-foot board and I've cut an exact 4-foot piece, and let me show you this. The piece on top is my 4-foot piece, and then you've got this much left over. So I guess they, you know, do they do that so that that part of the board that disintegrates into sawdust, if you're cutting it into pieces, still allows you to have 8 feet? I don't know. Do you know? Let me know. But anyway, that's why you need to measure each piece, even the 8-foot pieces, because even just that much, I mean, that's probably 1 centimeter, and that will throw off any square. Okay, so that this can be an educational video in some way, I want to show you what's happened. I am, not quite halfway done cutting wood, and let me show you this. So I've done something, and all of a sudden, my saw will only go that far down. And I know it's probably some button I accidentally pushed or something, but I've got to go get Dave and find out what I did, because I can't cut through a board like this. I just came out to try to find Dave, and he's standing here in the field, and I'm going to try to video this and see if you can see what we're out here in. Can you see all the bees swarming right here? I don't know if it's going to get it or not. I hope that's not our hive that left. But if it's a swarm, then maybe this evening we can come out and see where their home is and capture some. Of course, we don't have another hive to put them in, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But this is just interesting. There's a lot of bees, and I think they're concentrated over there in that corner. Well, we were moving along really well for a Saturday. Dave was mowing, and I was getting all the lumber cut for the garden beds, and all of a sudden everything happened. So the saw, like I said, I need Dave to come and push a button or something. So I went to find Dave. He was off the mower out in the field looking, and there's a swarm of bees. We don't know if they're our bees or if they're a new swarm. So we need to go out and check on our bees. That needed done anyway. We need to give them some more sugar water and see if that hive we were concerned about still has any bees in it. If they lost their queen, I don't know, they may have, they may just be swarming and these bees were just flying all around. I don't know. So we need to check on those and feed them. So we're going to just go ahead and stop what we're doing and do that. And Dave's mower won't start now, so he has to jump it. So to be continued. We'll be back after these problems are solved. All right, we've made it out to the hives and we've got bees going in and out. It looks like both of them. Not a lot though. Not a ton of activity. So let's dig in and see what's inside. All right, the moment of truth. We're opening up the hive that we're worried about. Forgetting I'm videoing. Okay, that looks like lots of bees. That's more bees than were in there when we put them in.
Oh yeah. If we wouldn't film all of them, just so we can.
Okay.
There's the pollen you were seeing packed on their legs as they come in.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
There it is right there. Yep.
Yep. Different colors. That was the hive that we were so worried about, and it looks like everything is going pretty good. There are plenty of bees. They're bringing in pollen. They're building comb. The queen appears to be laying eggs. We actually saw the queen, and they're capping it. So everything looks like it's going as planned in that side, and pretty sure the other side is good. So I'm not going to film that, but we're going to finish taking care of this and then get back to what we were doing today. All right, y'all, it's 2.5 hours later and I'm back out here to cut some more wood, and I just walked out in front of Dave ahead of him. He's on his way out here to figure out what I did to the saw, and I just walked out here and figured out what it was. So let me just show you. Duh. So here's the saw. It comes down like this, but this had kind of gotten turned over here, and so this was hitting right here and wouldn't let me come down. So all I had to do was swing that out of the way. Didn't need a man for that. I have limited time. I work full time. Today's Saturday. I was off yesterday and got some other stuff done. And like I said, we have that dinner at church tonight. Tomorrow we'll have a little bit of time, but I've got to get the house cleaned up and get laundry done and ready for the week. I may be able to work on this a little bit throughout the week, but my 12-hour shifts pretty much wear me out. So hopefully this will not be a long and drawn out video series, but I hope that you enjoyed part 1, and I'm going to end that with just a few little clips of cutting these 4x4s. And we'll see you next week. Hopefully there will be fewer distractions next week, but that's doubtful because we live in a homestead and we got to do what we got to do. So mowers not starting and bees swarming and everything else. Oh, by the way, we went back out and looked for the bees. Did not find all the bees flying around, did not find a swarm in a tree. So we'll just leave that as a mystery for now, and maybe we'll come across those later. So anyway, I'm going to end this out. Stay tuned for part 2 as soon as we can get to it. We're really pressed for time. We're really hoping to get this done within a couple weeks. So let's keep on it, and hope you all are well. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.